Welcome to Deliciously Motivated Mindset, hosted by Deborah and Moira. This podcast is designed to help listeners unlock their full potential, both personally and professionally, so they can thrive, not just survive. Deborah and Moira explore how natural tendencies don't always serve individuals and provide insights on how to harness existing strengths. Their goal is to equip listeners with the habits, mindset shifts, and strategies needed for lasting, meaningful change. Finding purpose and fulfillment can be challenging, but this podcast offers expert conversations, practical advice, and valuable tools to help align with a true sense of purpose and create a more fulfilling life. So grab a notebook, open your notes app, and get ready to take in some game-changing insights. Let's dive in.
Welcome, dear listeners. Welcome, dear Deb.
Hello.
Hello, my dear. Here we are. Oh my gosh, we've got a real good doozy. I was going to say it's a goodie, but I think this is a doozy.
This is better than a goodie. This
Yes.
is better than a goodie. Yeah.
Yes. Good episode. Welcome to another one of our deliciously motivated mindset conversations. Today we're going to talk about, and actually we were just having a little chuckle about this. The title is Refuse to Let Fear Hold You Back from Your Potential. It's not negotiation or anything, or little try it on or anything. It's to refuse to let fear hold you back
It's
from
done.
your potential.
End of.
Yep.
That's it.
Done deal. Done deal. But before we get into that conversation, sharing tips and ideas, we'd like to just allow you to land into this space and time. And I've already got my hands over my heart. We want to come into some, what we like to think of as heart coherence. In order to get into heart coherence, really what you're doing is you're setting an intention to be breathing in and out of your heart space. So just take your awareness to your heart space. And if it feels good for you to put one or both hands over your heart, take a nice deep breath in, expand your chest, expand your belly, and then reverse that. Bring in your belly, bring in your chest, and let your breathing slow down a little bit, filling you up, landing you here. Take another nice deep breath in. Feel the support beneath you where you're standing or sitting. Feeling your heart expand and contract with your breath. And maybe even set an intention, a gentle intention, that as you inflate and deflate with your breath, you're actually exercising your own heart coherence. You're exercising your heart connection with all beings on this planet, creating this beautiful connection all around us and connecting within. This is us connecting with our own seat of the soul. That's what some belief systems call that heart space, the seat of your soul. I always like that. So take another nice deep breath. And now let's get into unpacking these ideas around refusing to let fear hold you back from your potential. So we encourage you to grab a note-taking device, your favored pen, pencil, or electronic device, whatever feels right for you. And let's get into this. I know that, Deb, you like to unpack the title and just sort of really feel into the different words. Words are so powerful, aren't they?
I know, but when I go refuse, it is a done deal.
Done deal.
There's actually no negotiation, just done. End
Yep.
of. But I started thinking about fear, actually, the word fear. And when I was thinking about refuse to let fear hold you back from your potential, I think it's about naming what that fear is. Get really specific about what is this fear? Is it reality? Is it truth? Is it something that's come from a past failure, judgment? What like where did this fear come from? And is it actually a reality would be? Because the more, what I think about, the more vague we are, the more the fear takes over from
Controls
us.
us. Yeah.
Does that all make sense? because
Yeah, it really
like,
does. I think that's such an important piece. It makes me think because fear, that fear says stands for false evidence appearing real.
oh yeah, I was thinking, I knew you'd know something like that. And that's why we work well together.
That's right. But to
Well,
your
one of the reasons.
point, if you think about it, if it's false evidence appearing real, then why is it appearing real? Is it based on an outmoded pattern, or is it something you
Mm.
inherited, or is it a story you're making up? Right?
Yeah, and most often it's, well, I say it's come from a story, but whether it's come from or a belief system, it's come from something that you've seen, you've witnessed it, you've experienced it yourself
Hmm.
that is unresolved. You've seen it play out in front of you, and that could be even on a TV show,
Yeah.
or it could be any of that, or you've heard it. And when I think about that, it's someone going, I remember when I first started my business, people said to me, "You're not going to ever make money in the first 3 years of your business." And I was like, "Well, why am I going into business?" Like my head went, "What's the point then?"
Right.
And and that was someone else's story that I took on.
Hmm.
And for me, I did make money in the first 3 years of my business. Like that's like saying, don't run across the road, you're going to get hit by a truck. It's
Yep.
somebody else's belief system that sometimes comes from something so archaic and so ridiculous that they've
Hmm.
held on to.
Hmm.
But for me, yeah, I think when you actually just name that fear,
Yep.
don't lean into it. Go, really, is this really the truth? Where's the evidence? What is that evidence? And if you go, yeah, it did happen to me, I didn't make money, then how did that, then tweak that and change that fear, rewrite it as what did I get from that experience? What
Yeah.
did I learn? What value did it add to my world? And you're smashing that fear into you're just showing that it's just false evidence appearing real.
Yep.
And it can be rewritten just like that if you choose to, or you can sit in your fear. But the title is "Refuse to Let Fear
Yeah.
Hold You Back."
Refuse.
So I refuse to. But I think when I look at those words, yeah, because I do like to break amongst the title, but that fear is refuses. I don't have time. I don't have time for this. Let's just go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the fear is something that literally immobilizes people so much.
Hmm. Hmm.
Judgment, yeah, then there's, yeah, okay. I can give you a zillion tips here, but 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 look for that evidence. What is it, the fear? Um, name it as something and then resolve it.
Yeah. So I want to pick up on what you just said about immobilizing, because I
Yeah.
think that what I'm going to say is where's the gift? Because if you
Mm.
chose to sit in the fear, what's the gift of staying in this paradigm?
Ugh.
And what's the gift of stepping out of it? Because you get to choose. You're still the boss. So this idea of refusing to let fear hold you back, maybe you want to sit in fear or trepidation or discombobulation and just say, because it's helping me stay open to something else, right? There could be an epiphany that's going to land if I just sit here and kind of feel a little bit wobbly. But
Yeah.
it's always having this mindset of everything I do or don't do is for my best and highest good. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. I think we forget that everything's movable.
Hmm.
When you're in that immobilized state, there's so much and it just gets heavier and heavier. And if you don't resolve this stuff, people, um, it just gets heavier. It's like it just gets more stuff gets weight, and then you start to your mind runs a marathon in a sprint time. And you're
Yes.
like, see, the universe has given me evidence. See, I told you this is going to happen. See, and you collect data that verifies it, but it's bullsh. It's it's
BS.
yeah, it's not true data.
Right.
It's
Yes, that's
you
that
can stop
self-fulfilling
it.
prophecy, right?
You can stop anything at every time, but if you're sitting in that there's no wisdom in that fear. The wisdom is pulling yourself out.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's the wisdom? Where's the guidance taking you?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the four agreements already
I
in
better
that
start writing
conversation.
notes because we all know that I've got the first one down. I've written fear. That's all I've written. I haven't written anything from that. So I'm just being honest, people. Surprise. Surprise.
It's okay. But what I was gonna, my tip that I'm bringing in right now is four
Yeah.
agreements,
Yeah.
because I was thinking about what you were saying about the unpacking that whole thing about fear. Because if we are being impeccable with our words, we are not going to say, "Oh, I'm terrified about that," without checking in. How do I really feel?
Yeah.
What's, because I might feel nervous. So I'm not going to tell myself I'm fearful. I might just say I'm nervous. That's
Yeah.
being impeccable with my verbiage, right?
Yeah.
Don't make assumptions. Just because something fell apart last week doesn't mean it's going to fall apart this week,
I
right?
think, can you just say that one again? Because that's so relevant. That is
That
so relevant.
that don't make assumptions. So just
Yeah.
because things went sideways last week doesn't mean it's happening again, because everything, and to your point, everything's movable, including
Yeah.
the energy around you. So
Yeah.
just because you think, oh yeah, well it happened at 2 o'clock last week and now it's 2:30, so it's not going to happen because the energy is different, right?
Well, I have to giggle because just as you say that, so I spoke to someone the other day and I said, oh, I've booked my flights for so and so. And they went, oh, what seat are you in? I said, I don't know. They said, it better not be 11A. And I went, what's in 11A? And they said, that's the one, the survivor. And I'm like,
Oh
oh,
gosh.
I know. And so they're like, you know, this is actually a good seat or is this a bad? And I'm like, oh my God, why? No, what? Well, this is crazy. And this is how quick fear can jump into you.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
actually, I have to giggle because guess what? I'm in 11A.
Of course you are.
No, I had to giggle. I
But
was
of
like, oh, I
course.
don't know how that. But it's just it's this also other thing of other people's stuff
Yeah,
coming in.
yeah. So don't take it personally,
Yeah, which
right?
go yeah, that like my
Yeah.
hands up just and my screwed up faces. I'm just going, no, no,
No.
that's yours.
Mm.
Like if you could see me, people.
But
Moira.
and so here, something that I find very useful in that idea of not taking things personally, or not taking on other people's prejudices or agendas or ideas, is
Yeah, I
evolving a sense of curiosity, which actually should probably be a tip all by itself.
think that's a whole yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, because with curiosity, somebody says, "Oh, 11A is this," or it's a good seat or it's a bad seat. Um, with curiosity, you can go, "Oh, that's an interesting perspective,"
Mm.
and let it go, because it's got
But
nothing to do with you.
what comes out my mouth is very different. Oh, you said that aloud? That's it. Like like my filter face comes out verbally.
Your filter, I like that filter face. People have said that about me too, is that I can't hide what I really think because
I
people can
know.
see it in my face.
I'm like, oh, I did well there. Really? You rolled your eyes 3 times and you
Yeah,
huffed and
yeah,
puffed.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for alerting me to that. I'm pleased you're onto my emotions because I'm not. I
Yeah,
thought I
or you hold something back and somebody sees your jaw clench. You're like, oh, neither. I'm not saying anything. But yeah, but I saw your jaw clench.
yeah. Your filter face is actually everything, people. It's not just the nod and look.
Yeah.
It's the whole
Yep. Or the roll in
kindness.
your eyes like you just
It's like I didn't roll my eyes, and then I'm like, actually, I did. Yep, point. Yep, yep. But I
So
think that curiosity is a beautiful one. Be curious, and the world is look. The world is no worse than it was 10 years ago, 20 years. We may think that. We may think society's changed, and yes, it is. But we're evolving with it, and if you don't evolve,
mhm.
you're just going to collect the dust. You're going to be put on the shelf and you collect the dust. So evolve with this world, but bring that wonderment and that curiosity and what works for me, what doesn't. I said that word again, didn't
I
I?
love
Wonder.
that word, wonderment.
But it does. It brings us back to our heart coherent da da da
Yep.
again,
Yes, it
doesn't it? It
does.
just
It does. It
and
does.
when you're not saying wrapped in a love bubble for protection, when you're wrapped in a love bubble, it just feels right.
Yeah,
and you get to make your own choices, and it is a refuse to let fear hold you back from your potential.
definitely. You know, the other thing that in this, and I think that that word, the wonderment, made me think of
Better
this.
start writing my
But
notes. Yeah.
good. So refusing to let fear hold you back from your potential. To me, there's a real spiritual component in this too, in that every being that's on this planet right now, as souls, we all chose to be here. And we
Mm.
have a spiritual, soul-led purpose for being here. So if we let fear say, "Oh, I'm doing the wrong thing, or I'm in the wrong environment, or I'm in chaos and it's all falling apart." No, as a soul, you decided to be exactly where you are. So let's see,
Mm.
can we start bringing in some celebration, some sense of wonderment that, gosh, as a soul, I selected to be here. And so therefore it's in my best interest to understand myself, to get in touch with my potential, to show my unique quirky gifts and share and show up and be of service in whatever way is right in this specific juncture. Does that make
Mm.
sense?
It does. It does. And yeah, it does, and it comes from it comes into it, but it's not an icky place. It's a beautiful place.
No.
And I think when we remember we are in a beautiful space right now. And
Yeah.
yes, you might have complete discombobulation and you might be listening to this going, well, I can't even get out of bed, or my body's doing this, or my finances, or everyone. Yeah, but you're part of this journey. So what can you do to change it around? And I'm going to go and I'm going to go into the word gratitude.
Yes, I was just writing celebrate, but there we go.
Well, oh yeah, I've got of what I've written down: curiosity, wonderment, and celebrate. That's what I've written about this last 5 minutes of conversation, by the way. Um, but but you know, be thankful you're here. Be thankful that you're on this journey. Be thankful that you're falling over and you're picking yourself up. Be thankful that you're having the opportunity to listen to our deliciously motivated mindset conversation. Be thankful that you're you're leaning in.
Yeah,
There's so much to have around us, and when we can see the flowers over the weedy, frustrating little things that entangle, us, there's so much more to give.
absolutely. And it makes me giggle every time you say about seeing the flowers over the weeds. Because I just had a conversation earlier today, and I have had it a number of times that there is so many beautiful weeds around me. And so I
I
made a comment to somebody about, oh, I wish some of these weeds grew on my property. And she's like, really? You should have, she just like looked at me like I'd landed from outer space. She's like, why? I said, well, number one, because they're purple. But they're gorgeous.
I know, and I say that because people relate to it, but I have to giggle because, of course, yesterday I said to my partner, I said, "Oh, we need the gardener back. Look at all those weeds out there," and it's by the pool, and it's where I sit in the living room, and I can see. And I thought, "Oh, I'm just going to go out there and pull them." And I
Mhm.
went out there, and they were green, and they were purple, and they were white, and the sun shined on them, and I went, "I'm
You
not pulling
can't pull
those."
them. No.
Oh, I know. And I had this whole thing. And then I literally said to myself, well, that debunks your conversation you always say about the weeds and the flowers.
Yeah.
As it came out my mouth, as I said, look, even my voice is croaky. As it came
Hmm.
out of my mouth and I said that, I went, but not the ones around my pool. And then you went, well, let me tell you something. So I just have to giggle. So I will
That's
find
funny.
another way to explain it. But most people can, but my weeds by my pool that I went to pull out yesterday, um, are still there because they're green and they're purple and they're white, and the sun, we're in the middle of winter and the sun was shining on. They look gorgeous yesterday. So
So see,
I'll
that's part
find
of your
another
potential. Part of your potential is that you leave them there because they're beautiful.
I know. And while they're there, no, none of the other ugly ones are going to come up. But I just have to giggle because I did go, literally, I had the moment yesterday, I went, well, I can't say that anymore. And I tried to do it the old way. I tried to say it, and look what happened, universe. Moira said they're beautiful, so I'll find another way to say it. But but you're right. It is actually finding, that gratitude. Find the gratitude in the weeds.
Yeah,
Find the
yeah,
gratitude in those things.
yeah. Because there's still there's in fact there is beauty everywhere. You
It
just need
is.
to choose. So that's something that I think is an important piece too, because perhaps you may see a flower that's not your favorite color, but
Mm,
it doesn't mean it's ugly. It's just not your favorite color,
yeah.
right? So it's like everything that you do like and you don't like are always in existence. So then
Everything
you
you
get to
experience.
choose which end of the spectrum are you going to put your attention? Are you going to get really caught up in the, oh my God, that sucks, that's horrible, that's diabolical, or are you just going to say, huh, that's interesting. That's somebody's cup of tea maybe, but I'm
Yeah.
just going to pivot and put my attention on what is here, right in front of me, that I love, that I like, right?
And reframing that's what's the beauty I get out of my weeds? And that then you don't see them as ugly and heavy and weighing you down. You see them as actually beautiful, and you're not focusing on you're not focusing on the negative. You're
Yeah.
focusing on the positive. Whoa, that was a close call.
But you brought in an interesting word. I like that word reframing, because reframing, and we talked a bit about this at the very beginning about the power of words. So
Yeah.
reframing words can be, sometimes fear can be held in place because we're saying things like, this sucks, I have to do this, I've got to do this, um, I have to, got to, instead of saying, look at what I get to do. I choose to do this. I love to do this, right?
Yeah.
So
And
reframing that can actually sometimes be enough to break apart any kind of fear or nervousness or trepidation or things like that. Do you know what I mean?
absolutely. And when we're just talking about reframing and we're reframing words, my head went, fear is something that feels heavy in your body, and you get the butterflies like, this is not going to work, this is not going to work, this is not going to work. Like, oh, this is bad for me. But actually, fear and excitement feel exactly the same in your body.
Hmm. Yeah,
So, because fear is, oh, I've got these butterflies, I don't know if this is going to work. But excitement is, oh, I've got these butterflies, I get to do this.
I love
And
that.
actually, if we can reframe, yeah, I do too. If we we can reframe our physical to that the the feeling in our body is actually something that's fulfilling, exciting,
Yeah,
curious,
ooh,
wonderful. If we can, and
ooh,
instead of, oh, it's danger, is, oh, this is exciting, this is I'm ready. I'm ready. I can lean into this. If we can reframe that, you can reframe anything.
that's beautiful, because that actually feels like that could be your signal of the lean in and lean out, right?
Yeah, totally.
It's like, oh, I have this feeling in my body, and just really dialogue with it.
Mm,
Because if everything is for me, because everything is for me, everything is for
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Everything that we experience is for us. And so
Mm,
trying to get into, oh, I got to run away from this stuff this down, or no, lean in. Say,
mm,
oh, what is this showing me, guiding me towards, helping me step into? Holding me um gently in accountability to step into my full potential, right?
yeah,
Because that also makes me think of one of my favorite things that you often say, is that everything is on our way, not in our way. And that comes from that, right? Because if everything is on our way, then we're heading to our full potential, to express it, to be it, to share it. And that's a real refusal to let fear hold us back. Not only hold us back, but to play small,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, and yeah, yeah, yes, 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 yes to all of that. Yes, yes, yes to all of that.
Mhm.
And it goes back to reframing. People are probably going, well, how do you reframe? find the gratitude, and you've already started to reframe it.
Yeah.
It's just a flip of your mindset to actually, well, like, okay, how do you reframe it? You set your intention.
Mm.
You know, that first word, refuse to let fear hold you back from your potential. Set your intention. Set your intention that it's not going to be fear, it's going to be excitement, or it's going to be wonderment, or it's going to be inspiration. Like, set that intention. If you set your intention, it's funny, at the start of my workshops, you most likely do this too, Moira, as you set your intention what you would love your people to
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
And at the end, and you don't know what anyone is, you're not a mind reader, but at the end, did they get it delivered? Absolutely, because no matter what they write down, because as soon as they set their intention, they're declaring to the world, this is what I want to get out of this, and you get it.
Yep.
The world unit delivers. So if you set your intention to refuse to let fear hold you back from your potential,
You started to create it right there.
you've already said fear's nothing. Fear's excitement, actually. There's like so set your intention, people. And
And your
that could
intention
be,
could be as simple as saying, I've got this.
that's
Right?
right. Aloud, hand on heart, in your head, whatever that, set your intention. I today, write it down, whatever way you want to do, write it down. Today I'm going to have a magical experience, and if people try to knock me over, I stand truth in my calling, or whatever the words, the feeling, whatever you want. You set your intention, people, because I say the universe, it gets delivered. You're the master of the universe, by the way, people, if you haven't figured that one
Oh,
out.
you are the boss of you always.
That's right. But set your intention, because the world opens up for you in just a beautiful different. I'm not even writing my notes here. I'm in trouble. I'm just setting my intention that each day I just know that each time Moira is going to pick this up. Crikey.
Well,
But
I hope so. Um,
well, then the truth is, listeners, you better be writing your own notes.
hope you are. Hope you are.
Yeah. I trust that you've got your own note-taking device, because quickly, yeah.
The thing is about, we were talking about setting your intention. Um, setting your intention. Oh, well, you know how you just said, you set your intention and then say, if somebody does this, I would be then saying cancel, cancel, cancel.
Yeah.
Because
I used that yesterday in my
oh,
language.
good. The thing is that we are all powerful creator beings. And so if we say, this is a fundamental component of refusing to let fear hold you back, is if I am a powerful creator being, I am not going to give any creative fuel or oomph to
Mm,
false evidence appearing real, or an outmoded story, or somebody else's agenda, or
yeah.
limiting belief of some nature. I'm not going to give it bandwidth.
You're listening to Deliciously Motivated Mindset with Deborah and Moira, here to help listeners unlock their full potential so they can thrive, not just survive. They've shared some very powerful insights so far, so it's time to take a moment to breathe, reflect, and jot down any key takeaways. What's one piece of advice that stands out to apply right away? Before wrapping up, Deborah and Moira would love to hear from everyone. Reach out with thoughts, questions, or feedback, and drop your favorite tip from today's episode. They're inspired to see how listeners are putting these insights into practice. Let's dive back in and finish strong.
So really embody and embrace your own power. You are powerful beyond measure. And so that's why when things are showing up for you, embrace them. Say, oh, what's this here? What did I attract this for? Because I attracted this for my own illumination, my own up-leveling, my own experience, my own stepping into my potential, right?
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderment thing.
I think even with that, open your eyes, people.
Mm.
Like, you can only put the blanket over your head for so long, but open your eyes, because when you can see things, when you lean in instead of leaning out,
Mhm.
you get provided by.
Yeah.
You know, when you're leaning in over leaning out, when you're leaning out, you just get confirmation that you shouldn't be there.
Right.
That's probably it. But when you're leaning in, the world just opens for you.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. And I guess that means trust.
I was just going to say trust. It felt very close. Trust and truth, right? So trust that you are always in the right place at the right time, but it's also about telling yourself the truth, your
Mm.
truth from your heart, not
Not from your
saying
head.
not from your head, not saying things, oh, because I better say it because they won't like me if I don't say it their way. Or, what
Yeah.
will that person's going to judge me, or they won't like me, or they won't sign up for my program.
Yeah, see, that goes back to other people's opinions and none of my business. Like
Yeah.
Moira says, often,
Yes.
often. Yeah. I think when I think about this refusing to let fear hold you back from your potential, I think you can go back to we talked a little bit about past stories of what people have said, but actually, when you go back to, I'm going to jump into the past stories, is actually look where you have won. Look where something was so fearful and you achieved it. Find that evidence of actually that win. So write down, make a list of those times when you have overcome things that have been fearful to
Mhm.
remind yourself, I can do this. Because when you
Yeah.
go back to those moments, those memories, you're left with, oh my gosh, I've had this, and I know for a fact you've got through whatever you've got through, you're here surviving today.
Yeah.
And I know no matter what gets delivered to you, you're here and you're going to survive it. Like, because you don't get challenges you're not ready for.
Yep.
I believe. It
Mhm.
just means you've drawn it in to humble you or to let you grow. Well,
It's all
actually,
about thriving, isn't it? It's not
it's right.
surviving, it's thriving through
Yeah.
the challenges.
Yeah, so look at those things that you have achieved previously and you can go, "Oh, I have done it." Actually,
Hmm.
that last thing, I remember I was sick and I couldn't do this and I didn't know if I was going to present and da da da, and then I nailed it and everyone said, "You're amazing." I'm like, "Really?" Like having those verifications, that evidence base in your head to go, "Yeah, actually you're right."
Yeah.
So write them down just to remind yourself or to give yourself an uppercut. Duh, it's an old story. I actually did survive.
Right.
Not that
And
I'm joking
and
about
so
that,
it's
but
that's the confirmation of how resilient you actually really are,
mm,
right?
yeah,
Because it is.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, I am. I am strong and I am powerful. I have got this, right?
I have got this. Like, duh, hashtag state the obvious. Like I've got this.
Yeah.
And I think when you go back to those past wins, um, go back also explore a little bit more is actually look at what steps you took to get there.
Hmm.
So maybe you talked to Moira and Deb. Maybe you wrote all your fears down and you went, what's the gratitude of it? Maybe you like what are those? So look at those, um, look at the steps that you took to get to getting through that fear that allowed your potential to shine and glow. And then bring that into this day is, find those consistent action steps that build you that trust, but they just they rewire your brain to go, actually, not only did I achieve it, but these action steps that I took were achievable. They weren't as heavy as what I thought. I can put those action steps into what I've got now.
Yeah.
Does that
Because it totally does. Because look at those steps. They serve me well, and I've proved I can do them and rolled with it. So therefore, why not do it again in this new scenario,
yeah,
situation?
and make that plan of what that thing you want to do. So if you want to go and speak at something, what action steps do you need to achieve?
Hmm.
To like, do I need to practice? Do I need to like what are those action steps in the current day, but also be aware of those action steps that allowed you to break through
The last time
the
you went through it.
previous fear.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next thing I wanted to bring into this conversation is to have a sense of what is underlined, what is your potential.
Mm.
This is around
Oh,
knowing yourself, know
yeah.
thyself. So to me, knowing your potential, that's actually what kind of fuels the work that I do around using things like numerology and tarot and human design and success codexes, because I really find that the more we really get in touch with how we're wired, what our strengths and weaknesses are, we actually get to have a felt sense of what are we walking forward with? What are we wise to embody more of, right? Because we all have our own signature way of doing things.
Mm.
So I think that that's a really important part to have a sense of what is your potential, what are you heading towards.
Yeah, and I know at the start we talked about fear and I said name it. So that's exactly it. Name what your potential, what would you
Yeah,
love to achieve?
yeah,
Um, you know, and again, yeah, just name it. Name
yeah.
it, declare it, set your intention, declare it. And look, life is a phenomenal thing when we lean in. And do not think that I don't lean out. My
Mm-hmm.
goodness, I lean out. I live my life the most I can with what I've got, but I lean out often.
Mm-hmm.
And when things go and I'm like, oh, I'm just going to swallow this one. I'm just going to take this and just going to pause and reflect. And, but I also know it's everything, like we say, is on the way.
Yeah.
It's not in the way. And if I have to take time away from my own personal brain or other people or something, then I can do that, because you are the boss of you. I am the boss of me. And that's not an arrogant thing. It's actually declaring to the world, I've got this. Again, it's that heart coherent, hand on heart. I've got this. I generally do have this.
And that's sometimes such an important piece, right? Because sometimes I know for myself, when I've been saying things like, I've got this, I have no freaking idea how I've got this.
Oh,
Like
same.
the little conversation is like, really? Like how and what? And
100%. And even when I say to people, I've got this, and they look at me and inside I'm like, no freaking idea what strategy it is, but I
yep,
truly believe, and that goes back to that trust and truth.
yeah,
I know, I know with certainty that it works out.
yes,
And yes, you might get bruised. Yes, you might get burnt. Yes, you might, but you're still going to get through. And when you can look at the blessings of that bruising, that wahole, you know, it, you've got this.
right. It's coming
I
back
just,
to what we were saying though too, is that everything is for you, right? Just
yeah,
because something is discombobulated you or it feels like turmoil or everything's got thrown upside down, it's
yeah.
okay. I've got this. Because I don't know about you, but I can think of multiple times where I've used that, I've got this, having no freaking clue how I've got this, but then come through the other side and you go, oh my gosh, look, it did all fall into place. It all went better than I could ever have thought, right?
I know. That is the beautifulness. I've said it too. I've like, yep, I can do this. I can do this. And you have no idea.
Mhm.
And that butterflies in your tummy that I said is actually the same as excitement. Are just going, yeah, you don't. You've got that little Pac-Man in your head going, yeah, you're BSing yourself here. La
Like,
la la. La.
sure, pull the other one.
Yeah, yeah, good luck. Good luck with that. And I'm like, well, my certainty outweighs your doubt that I've got this. I don't
Yep.
know what it looks like, but I'm here. I'm leaning in and I'm here. Is the best way I can think of.
Mm. Yep.
But in saying that, we have to wrap up. Oh, I feel like we've just started.
I know. We
What
just
is
kind of
this?
got on a roll here.
I know. I'm like, what? How did that time go? Um, but in saying that, I'm going to ask Moira to pull a tea bag quote, just
Mhm.
so we can finish this one on a kahuna like Moira does. Um, but let's just jump back, and if you didn't get your note-taking device, grab it now, because we're going to show you these hot tips on how to refuse to let fear hold you back from your potential.
Mm.
And if there's any that we miss, there's any that we miss or that we said that we didn't specifically bullet point, drop it in the comments and let us know, because I'll be laughing. I'll go, yeah, of course, I remember that conversation. I remember that. And I
But
didn't
I didn't write
specifically,
it down.
yeah, yeah, and I didn't write it down because there's a couple of gaps in here. But hey, that's that's me right now. That's me
Just how
right now.
it rolls. Just how it rolls.
Yeah, that's how it rolls. So um let's jump into our first one. Do you want to do the first one? Because you're going to do the first and second one, by the way, and
All
probably
right.
the
All
third.
right. Well, the first one that I actually wrote down is you had said that the word refuse is really a statement of it's a done deal. There's no negotiation here.
Yeah,
It's not like, oh, maybe this time, maybe last time. It's nope, it's a done deal.
yeah.
Um,
It is, because it just ends it. That's it.
mhm,
When you're refusing, it's done. It's like, oh, okay, right,
yep,
right. Moving on, moving on. Haven't
yep.
got time to do that. Yeah. I
That's
did
it,
have the
that
second one then. I had the word fear.
right. So what was it you wrote? You said,
So I wrote fear, and then I went get specific and name it.
yeah.
Don't be vague, as it holds power. So name it that it's a failure, name it that it's a judgment, name it that it's whatever you want to name it. But once you can name it, you've acknowledged it, because seen, heard, acknowledged again. As
Mhm.
soon as you can see it, hear it, acknowledge it, it just opens up to a whole different
Yep.
level.
See,
That's all
you're
I
you're
wrote on
you're
that.
you're better at note taking than you thought you were.
That's the
Because
only one. And then
because
there's
from
gap.
from there from there, that's when we started talking about that idea of fear standing for false evidence appearing real. And that
Yeah.
gets unpacked when you name it and when you say, is it real? Like, is this based on an assumption, or is this somebody else's truth? So false evidence appearing real. And then from here that we went into lean in, because this is what I said is what's the gift of staying and what's the gift of not, right? So it's like sometimes you might feel that fear, that trepidation, that wobble, and maybe the best thing for you to do is to stay in it. But there's a gift there. So it's about really having that big picture, that big, how does this make me feel about me? It could actually be a
Mm.
really good tool to help decide lean in or lean out, or just sit still in neutrality for a little bit before you get back into action taking, right?
Yeah, because avoiding is an ugly place to be. And when you avoid, you get beaten black and blue over small little bruises.
Yep,
Be would be the nicest way I could say it.
yep, yep.
You do. I've written down that stories are movable. I don't
Yes.
know if that's the next,
Yeah,
is that the
you're on
next?
track. Look at you. You're
Oh,
on track. Good
because
job.
I missed those last ones, but the stories, okay, woohoo! The stories are movable. They're not set in concrete, but again, when you're ready, they're
Mhm.
movable,
Yeah,
and it's up to you to move them, not anyone else, because the power is literally, if you want to look at your potential, the power is within you
yeah,
to know they're movable.
yep. 100%. The next one I had was the four agreements. Four agreements
Yes.
is such a powerful way to refuse to let your fears hold you back from your potential. So it's all about being impeccable with your word. And we didn't say it this time around, but you could actually just set the intention at the start of your day, every day, just for today. I'm going to be
Oh,
impeccable with my word. Just for
yeah.
today, I'm not going to take anything personally. Just for today, I won't make any assumptions. And just for today, I'm going to do my best. And so
Mm,
those can not only help you dial down any sense of nervousness or fear that might come up, but it also helps you be really facing forward, stepping towards and sharing your actual true potential, that which lights you up, right?
yeah. Yeah. I love that just for today. It just it opens up a whole different world, a whole different meaning
Hmm.
in our beautifulness. Um, and as I go to the next tip, I've got curiosity and wonderment.
Yeah.
And then I've got celebrate.
Hmm.
Is that I selected to be here. I'm here. So when something gets in your way, be curious about it. Throw in that wonderment, and they may just be words that we're saying, but they're packed with a beautifulness around. I was going to say nurturing, but it doesn't even need to be nurturing. It's just wording that just allows you to be. And when you're curious about what's really going on and the wonderment, and you're leaning into that, you're not going, oh, I have to. It's
Right.
not. It's a
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
flowy place to be. Yeah.
As you're describing that, I'm realizing that it's a soothing space. It actually soothes your nervous system.
Yes.
That idea of curiosity and wonderment and celebrating and flowing. It's soothing your
Mm.
nervous system, which is not being soothed if you're going, gotta do this,
No,
you have to do this, and that's not right. Then yes.
no, it's icky, heavy, and yuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The next one I have is you had said gratitude, one of your favorite words. And that's when we were talking about there's always, 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 always things to be thankful for. And that's when we talked about the weeds, the flowers and
Oh,
the
yeah.
weeds, right? And that's when I was saying and it was funny because we both had stories that happened just recently about the realization that weeds are beautiful. And so that's when you're feeling grateful, everything's beautiful. There is beautifulness in everything. So we're going
Finding
to
the gratitude
reframe that.
in the weeds. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to reframe that one about weeds.
Which is actually funny because our next tip is
Reframing.
reframing words. Yeah,
Yeah.
reframing, which which is your words. Your words have so much power, and when you can reframe those,
Mm,
there's a different being. There's
yeah.
a different being about you. But also, when I was thinking about this, I was thinking about your physical, and so your physical, because your fear and excitement are actually the same feeling, which
Mm,
is your butterflies. Oh, oh, I'm fearful of this, and I've got those butterflies in my tummy. Oh, I'm fearful of this, but actually, oh, I'm excited. And it's just, they're exactly the same feeling. And when we can reframe those, um, I wrote down we're looking at the physical, I actually wrote down, I'm reframing it to I'm ready for this instead of it's dangerous.
right. I like
And
that.
and
Yeah.
and when you're saying I'm ready for this, has that level of that curiosity, that wonderment,
Mhm.
that gratitude, the four agreements again. It's that I'm ready instead of the danger, but knowing again that everything is on the way, not in the
Not in
way.
the way. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So from there, this is we both whenever we're doing group or teaching gigs, we always get people to set their intention. And that's when I said about so set your intention. Setting your intention is such an important piece. And then that's when I said, even if your intention is simply, I've got this. And
Mm,
we talked about a few examples of I've got this doesn't actually mean that you have to logically know how you're going to navigate whatever it is you're working through. Because I've got this means I'm going to surrender and lean into trust and truth. The truth is, I always have what it takes to get through whatever form of discombobulation, turmoil, whatever it is I'm going through. I actually always have it. I may not always know it. So
yeah.
it's by telling yourself the truth and trusting, just because I can't see it doesn't mean it's not here, right?
That's right. And and that's where we're choosing in our heart over our head, which flowed me into the next tip was actually get the evidence of your past wins.
Mhm.
And when I say that, just look at where you've actually had a fear that and you've leant in and you've done it, and actually, you know what, I achieved that. And yes,
Yeah.
I may have come out a little bit wayward, but there's go back to the gratitude, go back to the reframing, go back to the curiosity and wonderment, go back to that, because you actually, once you've got that evidence, you can't you can't okay, you can't you
BS
once you've
yourself.
got that evidence, it's done. That's
Yeah.
all there is to it.
Mhm.
The evidence is right there. You know you've achieved it before, and you can do it all again.
Yeah.
Because but reminding yourself of that. But if you look at that past fear and you've gone, that didn't work, just pause and find that gratitude in that situation. Find that beautifulness in that past situation, and it's already reframed. You've rewritten your story from that.
That reminds me of a quote that comes from somewhere that the realization that sometimes things have to fall apart in order for good things to fall together.
Mm.
And so sometimes if you're getting in that kind of like, well, that screwed up and that fell apart and that, yeah, but maybe it's because you just needed to witness something and trust that other things are falling together in the right way. Right?
Well, I think of a glitter ball. You know those disco glitter
Yeah,
balls.
yeah.
Someone said to me recently. They said, "You know, that's all made up of broken mirrors." And I was like, "Oh my God!" And of course, hashtag state the obvious. But of course, I'm like, "Oh my God, it's brokenness," and they've glued them all together, and
Mm,
it's beautiful and has a whole when you come together as a whole.
mm,
Like, and I was just like, oh, I hadn't thought about that. They described it a lot nicer than I did. I'm fully aware of that. But it just made me go, you're right. You've got to, sometimes you do have to fall apart that you see as falling apart, but it's actually not. It's
mm.
all about putting everything back together from reframing that evidence of that past stuff.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
actually an art form. I think it's from Japan. It's
Oh,
they take the broken
yeah.
pottery, broken china, and they
It
put it
starts
together
with K.
with gold. And it's
Gold. That's
yeah, it's gorgeous.
yeah.
It's
I
absolutely gorgeous. And so that one is such a beautiful reminder of the gorgeousness is from the brokenness,
mm.
right? So it's we are
And
that
when you're
too.
ready to pour the glitter and the gold in. But when you're
Yeah.
ready, because this is all about you people. You're the boss of you when you're ready. Not when I tell you you're ready, not when your children tell you you're ready, not when your boss tells you you're ready, your husband.
Yep.
When you in your
You
soul says, I am ready,
are.
then you're declaring that.
Yep.
That's your inspiration from within.
Which is a beautiful segue into the tip that I had here was what is your potential? This is all around knowing yourself. Know
Mm,
thyself. To be honest with you, that is actually a thread through all of our life purpose. People come to me often and say, I don't know what the purpose of my life is. What's my life purpose? Well, our life purpose, the commonality for each and every one of us is to know ourselves, to have self-awareness, to evolve our self-awareness. And in doing that, we actually get to get in touch with what is our potential and
yeah.
walk with it.
Yeah. Yeah. What is our potential? And name it. Don't shame it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, there's one. Name it. Don't shame it. Yeah.
Well, that's
Haven't
what
got
you
time for
said. Name it and declare it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
Um, when I just had the one before that with when we talked about evidence of the past wins. When you've had that past win, go back to those action steps that you did
Mhm.
and see what worked for you and what didn't. But also, not only just with the action steps of the past wins to go, I listened to a podcast, I did this, I did this, I did this. I listened to Debz and Moira podcast, just saying. But with
Yep,
the action step, what do I need to do to achieve this potential? What is that inspiration I'm aiming for? And what are those action steps as well? So it's not just the mindset action steps, it's actually the physical action steps that move you from A to C.
yep,
Mm.
yep.
Um, and Moira, have you pulled a teabag
I
quote yet?
did. I
Oh,
did. I
I
did.
love it. And how many did you pull before you nailed this one? One.
One.
Hashtag state the
Well,
obvious.
duh.
Yeah.
Duh. There, that's
Trust.
a Deb moment.
Yes. Yes.
The
Yes.
one that we pulled for today. We all want to be understood, to be acknowledged, and to be loved. Isn't that?
Oh.
That's like spot on. That's not letting fear hold us back from our potential, is to understand we all want to be understood, to be acknowledged, and to be loved. That's it. That's the purpose
Yeah.
of our life, isn't
That's
it?
that's definitely refusing to let fear hold you back from your
Mm-hmm.
potential. 101%.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what this means, listeners. This means sayonara, see you later, bye bye, and all those
Adios, baby.
adios. Yeah, that's it. Adios, baby. And we are ending this. We are ending this podcast just for today. Just for today, we're ending this. Well, actually, just
Just
for
for
this
today.
podcast.
Yes.
Just for this podcast, we're ending because you can always replay any of our other ones.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to ask the same thing I ask each time: is are you playing the game of life to the fullest? Are you playing the game of life to the fullest? And yeah, I can see that. And my head goes, even me, I'm just like, no, prior to the phone call, prior to this call, I would have said yes, but now I'm actually going, no, I'm not. No, no. So after listening today, oh, here we go. Add more things to my list. After listening today, what's your highest priority action step you're going to do today? What's your highest priority action step you're going to do today to achieve your inspiration, which is another name of goals? What highest priority action step are you going to do today to achieve your inspiration?
Your inspiration towards your potential.
Yeah, and let that potential shine. Thank you, listeners, for today. Thank you for being on our journey. Thank you for allowing us into your world. We are here for you to serve, to level you up, to hold that space, to add some vitality into your life your way. Thank you, Moira. Thank you, listeners. And back to thank you, Moira, for your wisdom in this. And thank you, Deborah, for your
wisdom. Your wisdom.
Your way. Yeah, my wisdom, my way. But thank you, everybody. I trust you have a magical day. And let us know what those highest priority action steps are. Let us know, because when you set that intention and declare it, so much opens up for you.
Watch out. Watch out for the potentialities. This has been an awesome conversation. Thank you, dear listeners. Thank you, dear Deb. And thank you, Internet.
Yeah. Whew, again. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning into Deliciously Motivated Mindset with Deborah and Moira, where the mission is to help listeners unlock their full potential and thrive, not just survive. As the episode comes to a close, they trust you've gained some powerful insights. If you haven't already, take a moment to reflect on one key takeaway that you'll apply right away. Before we wrap things up, Deborah and Moira would love to hear from you. Reach out with thoughts, questions, or feedback and drop your favorite tip from today's episode. They're inspired to see how you're putting your insights into action. Thanks for listening, and remember to keep thriving.